So what was your first job in the industry?
So I started in 2003. I moved up to Aberdeen as my first job with Wood Group. So I joined their graduate programme as a process engineer and worked there for 6 years on a variety of different projects. Most of the work I did to begin with was looking at brownfield modifications, so understanding how the different processes work, right the way through to utility systems and designing all the things that are involved in processing the oil and gas fluids. And then I got the opportunity towards the tail end of that work experience to actually go into an operator's office and work in the operations support team, so learning a bit more about how the things that I had been designing actually operated in practice. And I think what's maybe more or most interesting about that is the realisation that some of the things that I had designed could have been designed better with the understanding of how they operate in practice. And I think it's even gone full circle now because I work in decommissioning. I now have even more of an understanding of there's possibly things that I designed in the early stages of my career that could have been optimised.
And did you always know that the oil and gas sector was for you?
No, and that's a fantastic question because the university I went to didn't have a focus on any one industry, so we learnt about chemical engineering and all the different principles and the unit operations, so everything from fluid dynamics and thermodynamics and material balances. And I didn't have a real vision for where I wanted to be, and I think maybe it was luck that brought me here, but maybe it was destiny. Because absolutely, I think the oil and gas industry is an exciting place to be. I think there's still a lot of life left in it, and a lot of benefit that a process engineer can bring to the industry. Even in where I work now, which is decommissioning, I think there's a lot that a process engineer can bring to that end of life stage.
And what has been the high point of your career so far?
There's maybe a few things. So I got my chartership quite early on in my career, so about 4 years into my career. So that was a really great milestone. And then not long after that, I do a lot of work with schools, so encouraging young people about STEM subjects and engaging their interest. And so not long after I was chartered, Oil and Gas UK awarded me the Pearl Award for overall excellence, and that was a really fantastic recognition and reward for all the hard work that I've been putting in engaging schools. So I think that's probably my high points. Although, I mean, there's a lot. I think you go through your career and there, if you have a passion for something, then there's a lot of things that you can take thanks for and be grateful for. But I think early on in my career, those are the ones that stick out for me.
And are there any challenges that you've had to face throughout your career?
Yes. So as a female in the industry, sometimes it can be difficult, and I think that your perspective and what you bring to a team is really important, and that having that difference in dynamics and maybe being somebody who's more of a listener and maybe somebody who has more will want to maybe think through a problem first before leaping to the solution. Those things are sometimes not always valued, but absolutely are so important to the success of a project and to the success of how your team works together. And it can be a challenge, but I guess I would say that you have to, it's building up your confidence in your own abilities and knowing that if you're the person who stops the meeting and says, I'm not sure we're going in the right direction, just having the confidence to know that it's okay to do that and be the voice of caution or yeah, I think that's maybe the biggest challenge, is sometimes feeling like your voice isn't loud enough, or you're not behaving in a way that fits in with the rest of the team, because you naturally feel different, I think.
And who has been your role model? Who's inspired or supported you throughout your career?
So role model's a really difficult one, because I think there is a lack of role models, and I think especially when you look up to the more senior roles, I certainly feel like it's more difficult for me to find somebody that I identify with, and I think that's why I think it's so important going to schools and speaking to younger people, and I would like to think that I am acting as a role model. But if I think about who are my role models, it's a really difficult one. I know I was at the Institute of Chemical Engineers dinner just a couple of weeks ago, and Colette Cohen from the Oil and Gas Technology Centre spoke, and her speech was amazing. It was really inspiring, and I'd been a fan of hers before, but then when I saw her speak, I had so much admiration for her intelligence and how poised she was, but she was also funny as well, I think. So she's probably my number one.
And finally, what would be your advice for other women looking to get into the industry?
I guess trust in your abilities. Advice: see if you can seek out opportunities to get any kind of work experience, so that you understand a bit more about how the industry works. I don't know if I've got any other advice. So early stage, starting your career, there's so many different opportunities, and had somebody said to me that I would now be working in decommissioning 15 years ago, I would have gone, no, that's not even possible. Just be open to all the possibilities as well, because I think nowadays as well, your careers, it's not something that's set in stone. So even if you did join the oil and gas industry, the skills and the things that you learn are so transferable that actually you should embrace any opportunities that come up, even if they maybe weren't on your original plan.